Tom, we'll start right there. How about that performance yesterday? It's still ongoing for the team, again, taking on Northwestern right now, but only 3 times has it happened in Arkansas women's golf history, and she's another one on the list.
Pretty special stuff. She's a real steady kid. As Shauna Taylor was telling us yesterday, just a real lovely ball striker, and like where she aims it is where she hits it, and that's such a trait to have in golf. No matter what your length is, if you hit it where you're aiming it, you're doing pretty well. And so that's her biggest quality. And I love it that she closed out with that birdie when things were tight, and she just sank a 12-footer and clinched it. And what an even-keeled kid. And they got a real chance in match play. I mean, they got a couple of rounds of match play in at SECs, and now they're up against Northwestern, and they got to win 3 to do it. But when you think about, I heard where you guys were in the show when I came on, and it's like you got Vahiva Aloy, SEC Player of the Year. You got Bree Ellis. You're looking at 2 potential National Players of the Year in the ball sports, and then you've got the individual champion in women's golf. It's a pretty special spring here in Fayetteville.
Yeah, and softball and baseball obviously still underway with their championships. SEC tournament this week for baseball. Super regionals coming up. I mean, the team accolades. I like the odds of either women's golf, softball, or baseball bringing home a crown. I don't think you'll go 0 for 3 there. I hope.
Wow, man, that's pretty bold because none of the 3 has won a championship. In fact, the women haven't even been to the Women's College World Series, so that would be a huge breakthrough. But if you believe in recent history, whatever the women's team did in the softball regional, they lost at home the last 2 years. That's what the baseball team has done. So if that's the case, perhaps the men will get through into the super regionals.
Yeah.
Tom, it is an interesting dynamic. You mentioned Arkansas softball not making it to Oklahoma City yet. Neither is Ole Miss, and these teams have played already this season. Ole Miss defeated the Razorbacks' first series of SEC play. I just find that dynamic of one team's going to get to Oklahoma City for the first time this week in a big part of all this.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. You know, so many SEC teams have gotten there and done well. Florida and Alabama, LSU have made the College World Series, and I think have won national championships. Not sure about LSU, but I know Bama and Florida have won them. And so to have new blood, so to speak, there is going to be great. Obviously, Arkansas being at home, it's in their favor, and they've kind of got their mojo going right now too. And they crushed Ole Miss in the one game they won, and the other ones I think were tight games. So it's been a while since they played each other. Scouting reports should be refreshed, and looking forward to some good action this week. And hopefully the weather will stay at bay because we've had some rough days, as y'all know.
Yeah. How do you like this format? I really like this single elimination format because now it becomes like a weekend series. Obviously, if you lose Friday, you go home, but you can approach it, set up your starting pitching, and you know that, hey, 3 games is the most we have to play to win this championship. This is one of the byproducts of expanding this league. I'm liking this double bye and this single elimination format.
Yeah, because there's so many teams whose postseason basically is already in place, and Arkansas is one of them. They'll probably, I don't see any way that they're not in the top 8 national seed. And so do they have to play well and who are not? Not really. I mean, you want to play well. But I think for them, the real question is what the starting pitching will look like next week. Because you got to think Zach Root will pitch Friday. He's the leader, the first guy. And then Saturday, if you started Gage Wood, if you won, Gage Wood would be on his normal rest. And those are your 2 guys who seem to be in place. But right now, between Aiden Jimenez, who made a start last weekend, and then Landon Beidelshees, and then possibly Gabe Gackle, you got several other guys who could be a starter. And they've really got to sort that out as they move forward. But the good thing is you got a lot of good arms, and they have depth in their bullpen. And guys like McIntyre's performance the other day was just spectacular. But they've got guys that can give them 2, 3, 4 innings sometimes, and that's very, very valuable when you get into a tournament setting.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be an interesting weekend. I don't know how many, we were talking about this, how many teams out of this first round that begins today could really even realistically get to the semifinals. There's only a handful of teams that are still trying to get into the field. Teams like Missouri and maybe even A&M and South Carolina, I think, is on that list, are probably the only ones you'd say are definitely on the outside looking in at this point. But I don't know how many teams are really just there trying to play their way into the field of 64.
Yeah, that's a great point. I mean, Mississippi State's won 5 in a row. And I mean, I know the last 3 were against Missouri, but they were a little bit of a question. Kentucky, but the analysts seem to think that those 2 teams are going to be in. If I'm one of those two, I don't want to get plastered and go one and done in Hoover and then sweat it out a little bit. But it could be just like it was in basketball, a monumental number, record-breaking number of SEC teams in the postseason.
And this is a league. We were talking about this and looking at road RPIs. Arkansas, the top road RPI in the league. But if you just look at the expanded standings at SECsports.com and look at the home and road records, I mean, not surprising Arkansas won 2 of 3 against Texas. Not surprising that Arkansas lost 2 of 3 on the road at LSU. Home teams dominated throughout the 30-game schedule this year in SEC games.
Yes, they did. That's what makes that sweep at Vanderbilt for Arkansas so huge, because Vanderbilt's playing really well right now. They might be the hottest team in the SEC. And, they were a little bit of a different team when Arkansas went over there, but that one was, at the time of the season that was a real catapult for the Razorbacks. It got Cam Kojo going, and so many positives came out of that weekend.
Tom Murphy with us, Whole Hog Sports Arkansas Democrat-Gazette, brought to you by the Arkansas Beef Council. Tom, breaking news, Boogie Flan heading to Florida, according to John Rothstein. Kind of getting your reaction on the fly, but what do you make of this report that just came out a mere 10 minutes ago? Wow.
A little bit of a surprise. I guess they're losing a bunch of their guards, and they had some good ones, Clayton, and I can't think of all their names, but they had some good guards. And, Todd Golden does a good job there. I mean, reigning national champion. So, looks like Rich getting richer. Hate to lose Boogie. I don't know what it was that maybe made him decide to seek other pastures, but here we are. I mean, he's a smooth guard, and I guess he determined he wasn't ready to go to the league yet.
If point guards are like quarterbacks, there's only usually room for one. We saw how the team ran with both, and DJ Wagner coming. I mean, that seems to be kind of where you're at with the running the point.
It does, and you know what? Once they kind of got their footing after Boogie was out, they turned the corner, and DJ Wagner was a big part of that. A great facilitator, and there were times where he drove and created on his own. He's got to be a better finisher through contact, but no question, they were a solid team going down the stretch with Wagner running the deal.
Yeah, and
you were asking. Go ahead, Tommy.
No, and I don't know if it's like football where the team kind of picks the quarterback. The way the team plays kind of alludes to that sometimes when it's close. But I think your point is there. The team played a lot better when he was out with that injury. But it still doesn't make me believe for 1 second Boogie Flan's not going to at some point be perhaps a lottery pick, and he's going to be a thorn in your side if he is indeed going to Florida.
Yeah, I don't doubt that at all. I mean, he's obviously his jumper has got to get a little bit better, and just like with DJ, play through the contact a little more. But he did come into the SEC from New York unafraid. You could just see that. You could just see it in his play that he wasn't fazed by the physicality of the league. Hate that he got hurt, but Wagner worked out for them, and maybe he felt like I guess DJ had not announced coming back yet, but anyway, here we are, and he's gone.
Well, Tom, we'll leave it there, man. We appreciate you jumping on with us this morning, and we'll talk a little more baseball as Arkansas will know their opponent by the time you hop on with us on Thursday.
All right, sounds like a plan. See you.
BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for all your sports betting action. Baseball season is in full swing and we're into the NBA and NHL playoffs, and BetOnline has more ways to stay in on the action with the latest odds, news, and scores, even live in-game betting while the games are being played. With the largest selection of odds on everything from the MLB, NBA, NHL, and UFC, BetOnline remains the best online source for all your sports wagering information. In between games, head over to the BetOnline Casino with all the top Vegas-style games, including poker and live casino. Bet online, the game starts here.